Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post a quick video here. Gonna do a recent finds video, just kind of where I'm gonna share some of the stuff that's come in over the past few weeks. And usually what I do is I just kind of pull five random albums out of the recently arrived stack over here. But I haven't really kind of been keeping up, so that stack has kind of been piling up a bit. So there's stuff in there that I got 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks ago and still haven't shown yet. So I'm going to show a few more than five this time just to kind of catch up on some of the stuff that's been sitting in there for a while. But anyway, let's just kind of jump right into it. I mean, mainly just kind of a lot of reissues and new stuff that's kind of come out, but definitely some very cool stuff that I'm happy to add, I should say, to my collection. And one of the first ones I'll start with here is this one, which is The Darkness, Permission to Land. A very cool album from 2003. So glad they finally reissued this one on vinyl because it is my favorite album by them. Probably best known for the song I Believe in a Thing Called Love. But I mean, really, there are a bunch of rocking songs on this freaking album. It's one of those ones where it's the kind of band that, like, they rock, they bring it, but they're not taking themselves too seriously, but they're killing it kind of thing. And there are just a lot of great songs on this album. And kind of forgot about it till I listened to it, all the way through for the first time in maybe a year or two, um, when I got this like 4 or 5 weeks ago. But yeah, for their 2003 release, so nice to finally get that reissue. 'Cause like I said, that is my favorite album by them. So that's a really nice one to add to the collection. They also been doing a great job of finally getting around to reissuing all this Matchbox 20 stuff. And so Mad Season, probably my second, maybe third favorite. I'd probably say my second favorite Matchbox 20 album. So glad to finally have that on vinyl. With great songs on here like If You're Gone, or probably my favorite off of this, which is Bent. Definitely my favorite song off of this album. But yeah, so great to finally have that on vinyl as well. So another great reissue. And little Neil. This is Hot August Night 2. Just kind of a cool 2 LP set, of just live Neil. Matter of fact, I just kind of give you a quick shot of the track listing there. But yeah, just kind of Neil doing his like just great power live performances. And so I saw this one about a week or two ago and picked that up. Very cool stuff. And it was in fantastic condition, so was happy to add that one to the collection. Another just kind of nice core piece that, even though I really have all the studio albums, I thought I would go ahead and pick this up anyway. But this is Stone Temple Pilots' Greatest Hits, which I think originally came out in 2003, somewhere around there. But again, instead of naming off all the songs, I'll just kind of give you a quick snapshot. So if you don't have any other Stone Temple Pilots in your collection, this is a great one to add because you kind of get all of the main greatest hits. Even though I personally think like every collection should have at least core in there. But yeah, great way just to kind of get the main hits and have some great STP. A 2 LP set, but only 3 sides on the album there. And the next one here was, I thought it was really cool when I saw that this had got issued on vinyl. I think I picked this up 2 weeks ago. But this is Clapton's Chronicles. And this is the best of Eric Clapton. I really wanted to grab this one from 1999. I mean, I have the Clapton box set, which basically has, I mean, pretty much every song that's on this is in the box set. But I really got excited about this because this is one of those CDs that I used to play to no end, like long before I started collecting vinyl. It was just one of my favorites. I played it all the time, and it was just really cool to see it, on the 12 by 12 and the 2 LP set. And I was like, oh, I gotta have it. Like, just so many memories just looking at that cover there. But it has a lot of the things you would expect. Change the World, Tears in Heaven, Layla, Wonderful Tonight, things like that. And it also has some of the stuff from like some of his late 80s and early 90s stuff, like the album Pilgrim, for example, which I think is one of those albums that kind of goes under the radar a bit for Clapton, but it's one of my favorite Clapton albums. So songs like My Father's Eyes and River of Tears come off of that album. And then, of course, talking about the 80s Clapton, like, in the way that you use it, Another great song from his kind of his 80s time frame. So really cool 2 LP set, and like I said, just one of the CDs that I played to no end back before I collected vinyl. And one that we kind of waited for quite some time, and it's just so nice to finally get it, which is Dave Matthews Band's "These Crowded Streets," and this was their release from 1998. The original pressing of this, they only made 5,000 of them, and uh, and I had a beautiful, pristine, absolute near mint copy, and the price shot up so much on it compared to what I paid for it. I was like, I have to take advantage of it and sell it, which was about 7, 8 years ago, and of course the price has almost doubled since then again. And I actually had two original copies and sold them both, and just kind of one of those ones I always regretted getting rid of, even though I made out really good on both of them. But like I said, there's only 5,000 of those made, and they finally got around to reissuing, which is just fantastic. Just sonically, I think one of Dave Matthews Band's best albums. And I think out of the Dave Matthews catalog, this is probably the most accessible album, I would say, where most people tend to either like his voice or they hate it. And if you're someone who's not very fond of his voice, this is probably the album that you may be able to find your way into a little more. With stuff like Don't Drink the Water or The Dreaming Tree, things like that. Just really, really beautiful stuff. So glad they finally got around to reissuing this thing. Although that was one I was really excited about over the past few weeks. And as they've been doing over the past couple years, they've been doing a great job of finally getting all the Cranberry stuff back out to us. Everything from Everybody to, another great one here, which is, excuse me, To the Faithfully Departed. This was their 1996 release. On here you had like When You're Gone, Free to Decide. I think those were kind of the two big songs off of it. And this is the kind of the cool 2 LP deluxe edition. And yeah, again, really, really great one. So glad they finally got that reissued, because OG pressings of that, you're looking at paying 200, $300 to get a nice OG copy of it. And I was flipping through a store the other day and only found one thing, and it was an awesome one in my opinion, which was this right here, Wilson Phillips, Shadow and Light. This is their 1992 release. I was a fan of Wilson Phillips, and this is actually probably my favorite album by them, which has my favorite song, which is Give It Up. That's my favorite song by them. I absolutely love it. So I was kind of pumped when I stumbled across this one the other day, and such fantastic condition, and I was like, yep, Wilson Phillips going home with me. So again, great addition to the collection there. That's kind of a cool one. Jackie McLean, Demon's Dance. This is his release from 1967. I actually wasn't familiar with this album. I'd never heard this one before. But I have other Jackie albums which I love, and of course I saw that cover too, and I was like, oh, I have to check that out. And it's a tone poet. So I guess the only thing I would say maybe I was disappointed about is maybe seeing that cover. I had a very strong a subconscious association with like maybe Miles Davis Bitches Brew. So I think when I was put the needle down, I kind of had some expectation of more of an experimental, kind of thing. And it's a little more on the traditional side. Definitely has some elements here or there that maybe, kind of experimenting a tad, but more so on the overall, on more of the traditional side, which is like, that's what I would expect from Jackie anyway. So another fantastic album to add to the jazz collection, and like I said, that cover and that artwork is just freaking awesome. So great album, great new discovery there. And then the last two, you got old Chris Stapleton here. This is Higher, his new release. Haven't had a chance to listen to this one yet. 2 LP set. Saw him in concert a couple months ago, and he played, I think, 2 songs off of this album. So I've heard those 2, and they were both fantastic, but have not had a chance to listen to the rest of it yet. But Chris always delivers, so I know it's going to be fantastic. Just can't wait to spin that one the next day or two when I get a moment. And last but not least, another great reissue, which is the reunion tour by Black Sabbath. Uh, Great 3 LP live, kind of set here just from that reunion tour. And I have this one and also have the End by Black Sabbath, which again was just kind of a tour they did much later down the line. And the thing I love about both of those is obviously Black Sabbath was doing their thing. I mean, they're oftentimes referred to as the godfathers of metal. So they were kind of making metal music before metal music was a thing. And so I think the cool thing about like the reunion and the End is that when they were originally making a lot of those songs, the type of guitar tones and even the speed and stuff like that that we associate with metal today wasn't really there. So like with these reunion and the End tour that they did, they seems like they added modern day metal elements to the old school Black Sabbath. So stuff like one of the ones that stands out the most for me is the song Nib. You know the original version and it's awesome, but when you hear kind of the more up to date version with a little heavier guitars, a little more distortion, sped up just a little bit, it just brings an entire new power to a lot of those old Sabbath classics. And that's one of the things that, for someone who's not really a big fan of live albums, love it, love it, love it. So cool 3 LP set. That's another great reissue. So there you go. Those are a few of the new things that really have kind of come in over the past 6 weeks or something like that. But anyway, as always, let me know what you think, VC. Thanks for watching, guys, and we will talk to you soon. All right, take care, guys.